ready for the 2-2 to Woodson, and here it comes. And it is swung on and missed. And Tom Browning has missed a perfect game.
Welcome back. You know what, Ed?
Yeah. What?
I don't think I like the weeks that we don't record.
We had an interview last week.
I understand. I still miss it.
It's a nice break, though.
Is it?
I get to sleep. Which is nice.
So what's good? What's going on?
Oh, nothing, man. Just chilling, hanging
Yeah?
out. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We got a good show put together for you tonight.
Yeah, you could tell it started off that way.
It did.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody's awake.
all right. Everybody's good to go. Without further ado, let's talk about the biggest highlight of my weekend, UC basketball.
71-69 Cincinnati, second free throw, no good by Trayvon Scott, but the outlet pass is stolen by Logan Johnson, and the buzzer sounds. Logan Johnson lifted off the floor by his teammates. He anticipates the outlet pass, steals the ball, and the Bearcats hold on to win it. 71-69.
That was awesome.
69.
Stop it.
So, Penny Hardaway, lifetime career against UC. 1-7?
1-8?
1-8.
I think 1-8 after
it's
Saturday.
bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's real bad.
It's not good.
Don't ever come into our house talking about how you've already won.
Yeah, don't do that. And don't come into our house wearing red gym shoes.
It was all a bad look. However, a good look. Mike Miller has some style.
Oh, Mike Miller was a nice guy. Hey, hey, Teddy disrespected that man.
We'll talk about that. So, for those of you that don't know, my boy Ed here won some crazy awesome tickets for the front row seats right behind Memphis's bench. I've never been that close to anything in my life.
Shout out to March 1st Brewing Company. This is not a paid advertisement.
Kind of wish it was.
Yeah, kind of.
So, yeah, seats were, as I said on Twitter, dope-ass seats.
The best seats that I will ever have unless somebody gives me floor seats. Like, front row floor seats.
Yeah.
Or seats right next to Dan Cronin. Best seats I'll ever have.
They're what you call Arena Club. Let me let you in on a little secret about the Arena Club.
There's a clubhouse.
There literally is a secret clubhouse underneath the seats where you get to go. You have your own bar. You get Adriatico's pizza, which I don't believe is actually served anywhere else.
There was Adriatico's pizza there? Oh, snap.
Walking tacos.
Yeah, the walking tacos were bad.
With 3 different style chips for you to choose from.
Yeah.
You get
Doritos, Fritos, and
pastries.
Yeah, Michelle had that giant.
They had cupcakes. They had cookies. They had giant cinnamon rolls.
She ate 70% of that. She wants to make sure everybody knows that.
So, and you get more drink choices than I think anywhere else in the entire arena, including liquor.
Yes.
So all of that just culminated into an awesome clubhouse experience.
Oh, dude, and clean bathrooms.
Yeah, you have to wear like this special wristband. You get your Arena Club ticket stamped, or like hole punched. I felt like UC royalty.
I mean, we weren't in the Champions Club, but we were in the Arena Club, and it was pretty sweet because in the Champions Club, you don't get to hang out in the tunnel with the players.
Yeah. My wife actually thinks that the reason Logan Johnson got that steal is because she dapped him up as he was coming back, going back onto the court at halftime.
Yeah, that seems like it could be legit.
I'll take it.
I'll take it too.
So, since our last show, UC is now 25-4.
Come on, say that one more time.
25-4.
This is a team that we said was a rebuilding team.
Rebuilding.
This is a team that after they lost to Ohio State, and let's say after they lost to ECU, we were all thinking possibly an NIT bid.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's a little crazy, right?
It's super crazy. It's stupid crazy.
We're not supposed to be this good. And by the way, if we win our next 2 games, which happen to come against number 25 UCF and number 12 Houston, if we win those 2 games, guess who wins the conference?
Oh, that's us.
Yep.
I mean, I think I read on Twitter that no matter what, come Thursday against Houston. Not this Thursday, next Thursday against Houston. We're playing for a conference championship. Or conference regular season.
Well, we play Sunday.
Yeah, but we play Houston at home on Thursday, don't we?
No. We play...
Oh, that's what I meant.
Thursday we play UCF.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Sunday we play Houston.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm all mixed up in my days.
So, since our last podcast, we did have wins against UCF at home, 55-60. We were both in attendance at that game.
Yeah. Yes, we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taco Fall, in real life, doesn't make sense.
No, he doesn't. Taco Fall is 300 pounds, and I'm 299. And I don't carry my weight as good as he does.
He's 7'6", and just looking at him next to... Like, for the tip-off, the arena laughed. Looking at Nasir Brooks. Looking at Taco Fall.
I mean, we all know that Jaron has that little floater.
Yeah.
When he was in the lane, he has a float. That floater was extra high.
It was hitting the top.
Like, I'm pretty sure that Mick was seeing... No, not Mick. I'd be somebody taller than Mick. But probably Coach Mike was out there with a broom during practice.
They would have had to have been.
You had to shoot over the broom.
Doesn't even make sense. So we did beat UCF at home, 55-60. We eked that one out, as has been a theme for our entire season.
Yes.
We beat UConn at UConn, 64-60.
UConn sucks.
Thanks, Kane Broom.
Yeah, thank you, Kane Broom.
2 big shots, 2 big threes at the end of the game. We beat SMU at SMU, 52-49. And if I'm not mistaken, that also came at the hands of Kane Broom.
I think so, yes. Kane Broom or Jennifer, one of those two, yeah.
And then we won at home against Memphis, 69-71. I don't really want to get into the other 3 games so much as I want to get into this Memphis game that we were literally courtside at. Before we get into the breakdown of the game, though, did want to give a shout-out to a friend of the show who actually won tickets. He actually got my season tickets, so kudos to him on that. But
drove down from Dayton.
Yeah, he played hoops with
Jaron
at Wilmington. Yeah. So shout out to John Stewart, who is at BigJohn5519. It was his first game. That's his Twitter handle. It was his first game this season. He was super stoked, super excited to be there. We were super excited to share the experience, like basically give him the experience.
Yeah. I'm sorry that Aaron made you sit out in the cold and wait for us in the tickets.
We got there, man. It worked out.
It was cold.
It was fine. But hope you enjoyed yourself, John, because we haven't really got a chance to catch up since then. But, yeah, we're going to try and do that as much as we can if we end up with some other stuff going on.
Win more tickets.
But, yeah, if there's a reason that – I mean, I have season tickets for both football and basketball, so if there's not a reason that I can go, we'll see if we can't do some more giveaways like that because that was a lot of fun and helped get our interview with Melvin Levitt out there. So
and Mike Bone, if you want to go ahead and give us tickets, that you can do that too.
I think you have to apply for those, and that's just
he
a
just
press
give
pass.
Us tickets. He likes us.
Just get a press pass.
I don't know where to do that.
Yep, figure it out. Be better, Ed.
Mike Bone listens.
Be better. So UC is ranked number 20. Most brackets have us in as a 6 or a 7 seed. I don't really want to get into that so much as I want to get back into that Memphis game real quick here before we talk about all the stuff to come. You got any sound clips on that Memphis game, Ed?
All I have is this.
Teddy! Teddy! Teddy, we got a camera! Teddy!
Yep, that's Ed yelling at TV
I did not
Teddy.
have a voice on Sunday or Monday yelling at Ted.
I didn't have much of a voice on Sunday either.
He wasn't happy with us.
TV Teddy, he was something.
Teddy! Teddy!
So, he, things that you see when you're courtside like that you wouldn't normally see. At one point, TV Teddy is roughly about 6 inches away from assistant coach Mike Miller's face.
And 6 inches is giving him a couple inches, I think. I mean, he was like
in his
nose
face,
to nose.
like, shut up!
And telling him to sit down in his chair.
And then he goes to the baseline, isn't even paying attention to the game that's still happening because he's still bitching at Mike Miller to shut up and why he needs to shut up and to stop telling him how to referee.
The look on Mike Miller's face.
He stopped talking for a good 5 minutes.
He didn't do anything for a good 5 minutes.
He was the loudest coach to that point. Like, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. It was hysterical, and I'm happy I was there to live that moment because I'm fairly certain there's no way the camera showed any of that.
I'll have to go back and look again, but I don't. I just remember he did that, and I was just in a state of shock.
Yeah.
And then when Teddy comes back around and was like, Teddy, you show that man some respect. He's an NBA champion. That man's an NBA champion. Show him some respect.
God, it was funny. On that same note, though, I think Mike Miller is going to end up a better college coach or NBA coach if he decides to go back to the NBA than Penny Hardaway.
Penny didn't do much.
He just kept throwing his hands up in the air like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's twice these two guys have run into each other. Tell them to stop. Tell them to stop.
I don't know.
That's what you got to do. Tell them to stop.
So that was something funny. Being that close, the players hear you.
Yeah, they do.
So there was a point in time where there was some technicals going around where a Memphis player stepped over Jaron Cumberland on the ground and then proceeded to be like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. So
Are you not allowed to step on his hand?
no, you can't do any of that, man. No, I don't know.
I don't know what
So
happened.
he comes back to the bench. He keeps saying, I don't know what happened. And I said, you stepped over him, guy. And well, at that point, Jeremiah Martin decides to look around, turn at me, look me dead in the eyes, and tells me to shut up. You can fill in the
Censor
blank.
that. Meanwhile, I'm yelling at the guys at the end of the bench who haven't played yet, telling them they better go get their boy.
Yeah. At that point, I pretty much did shut up because I don't know what happens if you don't shut up at that point.
Yeah, no, I didn't want that to happen. We had the Memphis police officer sitting right in front of us.
I mean, I feel like I may have retorted with like well, he did, or something, but I didn't have my hands over my mouth anymore. I shrunk back.
We stopped sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the guy next to us did end up getting a slap on the wrist from an usher. He was like, "You can't make it personal," because all that dude kept yelling was, "How much you paying the refs, Penny? How much money you got on the game?"
Is that
Penny?
what he was saying to him?
The whole game. The whole game.
Well, no, I saw the usher come over, and I'm like, what is going on?
He prided himself, though. He was like, because he was talking about like the Xavier game, and he was like, the Xavier radio people heard me on the Xavier game. They could hear me on the radio broadcast because we're like right behind the radio broadcasters. So like his goal every game, I think, is that the radio broadcasters of whatever team it is that we're playing
just turn around,
hear him talking shit.
That's hilarious.
Yep,
I want those seats. When I win the lottery this weekend, I'm gonna go talk to March first about buying those seats.
They were some dope ass seats.
I mean, maybe I'll go over to the other side and hang out with Dan Cronin. I'll just buy both seats.
All right.
We can just decide where we want to
go. Okay.
Like when the Bearcats are shooting on that hoop, we'll sit over there. When the Bearcats are shooting over on the visitors hoop, we'll go sit over there.
So have a giveaway for the other ones, and just know that they need to trade us. You got to trade us at halftime.
We're switching. We're switching at halftime.
That's hilarious.
But I really like these seats. We're switching at halftime.
You got to sit up here.
Go hang out in the arena club.
Anyway.
Clubhouse.
So do you have any other takeaways from that game? Like, I mean, obviously it was a good game. It was close. There were some times where we were pulling away, but then we didn't shoot well. Again, another game where I feel like Jaron Cumberland just didn't come offensively with it.
So about that, Seth, is it Greenberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he pointed out what all of us were saying at the game, was that
all season. He pointed out what we've been saying all season.
The refs are officiating Jaron Cumberland differently than they're officiating anybody else. Jaron Cumberland does not have freedom. Like, you're supposed to have freedom of play. He doesn't have freedom of play. No. These guys are wrapping him up. They're holding on to him. And, I mean...
Well, the whole idea is to get him frustrated.
After the game.
Because you see him get frustrated. He gets visibly frustrated.
Yeah, he does.
And then he goes out and he fouls. Because he's frustrated. And then he's out of the game because he's in foul trouble because he's got 2 fouls with 10 minutes, 12 minutes left, 15 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah.
That's the entire recipe.
That's every team's game plan on Jaron is just hold him.
I mean, that's why I'm terrified of UCF right now.
Well,
tomorrow. But
that's tomorrow. Yeah, you did say that a minute ago. Mm-hmm. How am I going to watch that? All right.
So did you have any other takeaways from the game, though, being that close? I mean, I've told my stories.
Just this one.
Teddy! Teddy! Teddy, we got a camera! Teddy!
That's all you got?
It was awesome. Shout out to the older couple next. Oh, yeah. Shout out to the older couple next to us, to the left of me.
Okay.
To the left of Michelle. They were cool.
They were Memphis fans.
They were Memphis fans. I think they live in Cincinnati, went to school in Memphis, something like that. But before the game, he's like, oh, you know, he's an older gentleman. Like, you know, he's like, oh, I hope we don't end up fighting during this game. I was like, we're not going to, sir. 35 now. I got family dinner tomorrow. And then
also, while we're talking cool people to shout out that were sitting by us, Chris
the
George
guys behind us. Yeah.
Chris George was sitting behind us. New friend of the show, new but old friend of the show, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
We actually got to meet him. We were sitting in front of him. He said, "Oh yeah, I've heard of Pardon Punctuation." Sure enough, he has. And yeah, he
tweeted us.
He
on
did
Monday.
tweet us. Yeah, just the other day. So.
And then
the people you didn't like.
I tried to be respectful of all the Memphis fans that were sitting around me. I tried to
because we
make
were
sure
behind the bench.
Exactly,
you know?
I didn't want to stand up the whole game because that's what we do over in your seats. We stand the whole game. And
it's because we're 6 rows from the top.
We have to be able to see. They actually, I like to think the players hear me when we're up there.
Yeah, no, they actually hear you when you're down there.
But so I'm trying to be respectful, and this girl kept putting her cell phone in front of us, like in between me and Danielle. Just kept. She
recorded the whole game.
She recorded Penny Hardaway the whole game.
That
cell phone did not move to the players. It was on Penny the whole time.
That's a weird thing.
I did a Google search. It didn't look like his daughter or anything. And his other daughter's like 14, so it wasn't her.
You can finish telling the story, though.
Anyways,
sorry to interrupt.
She decides, well, she keeps screaming during the game, and Michelle just plays it off. But then she screams, like, again, and Michelle just, like, covers her ear. And the girl's like, you got a problem? And Michelle goes, why are you getting an attitude with me? Anyways, it turns into a big fight. I mean, not a big fight. It turns into me turning around and saying, put your cell phone down, sit down, and watch the game. And then pointing to her boyfriend and looking at you and going, and this guy doesn't want to get bodied. Which also, I was not going to body him. I'm 35 now, and I had family dinner on Sunday. So
pointed at me?
No, I pointed to him and looked at you and said, this guy doesn't want to get bodied.
Oh, yeah, I remember that part.
But, judges aren't going to see me on a Sunday, so. Also, I didn't want to get beat up. He was younger than me.
So.
That's my only takeaway. Oh, no, it's not my only takeaway. It's just a good takeaway.
And then, at the end of the game, well, we know that Justin Jennifer... Oh, here's another story from the game. Justin Jennifer gets ejected from the game.
Yeah.
Funniest part about that is, yes, you come off the bench, you get ejected. That's a rule.
But there was a timeout called.
It doesn't matter. You got to know the rules. And you don't need to be under the hoop at
Plus,
that
he's
point.
a senior.
But shout out to the assistant coach who decided to try and slide a chair under Justin Jennifer while he was getting ejected because he was like, no, he was coming out for the time. See, the chair's under him, and that's what we do. It's timeout in the chair.
If you watch the video, that assistant coach is dead shot on trying to put that chair on Jennifer.
Oh, yeah. But
Penny, Mike Miller saw it right away. As soon as he came off that,
Jennifer?
Yeah, Mike Miller's like, Jennifer's off. And I'm like, oh, dang, he got him.
Got him.
But I don't know. Does that mean he has to, maybe I should look that rule up real quick. Does that mean he has to sit out the first half of the next game?
I don't know. Let's see if you can find that before the end of the show. We'll address it.
All right.
All right, so UC is currently ranked number 20, like I said. The only thing that bothers me is the fact that ratings don't matter anymore. Because, like I said earlier, UC is projected as a 6 or 7 seed. Well, simple math tells me when you have 4 brackets, there's only 19 other teams better than us. We should be a 5 seed. But yet, we're projected to be a 6 or a 7 seed. Doesn't make sense to me. But start looking at things like RPI, strength of schedule, blah, 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 NET, which is a new thing this year. I don't understand any of it. What I see is a team like Wisconsin that's given a 4 seed, 9 losses. And I'm told, well, they beat 8 teams in quad 1 according to the NET ranking. That's fine. They still lost 9 times. Find a way to win if you're a 4 seed. I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't like it. But, like I said, if you win out, you win the conference. That's a win against the number 25, a win against the number 12. That puts you in a driver's seat. Go out and win the actual tournament as well. And you can't tell me that we aren't a 4, maybe even a 3 seed at that point.
No, that's true. But, I mean, It's because of our conference.
Agreed. And that's fine. But again, that makes me all the more reason to say ratings don't mean anything. Exactly. All the ratings mean number 20 is, ESPN can say number 20 versus number 25, UC versus UCF. On Sunday, number 20 versus number 12, UC Houston. Come watch because you have two of the top 20 teams in the league.
Exactly.
In college, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things we could say about the media respect that we're not getting right now. And, I mean, how does College Game Day go to Houston? Like, we have a football team on a winning streak, a basketball team on a winning streak. How does College Game Day not come to Cincinnati?
I saw a very cool stat on that, by the way. You know how many colleges have a top 25 team?
I want to say it was like 3.
In both football and basketball? There's 5.
5, okay.
There's 2 in the AAC.
Yeah, exactly.
Cincinnati and UCF,
yep.
Which if they both don't end up getting bids into a Power 5 conference at some point.
And don't forget UCF was a national champion 2 years ago.
It's ridiculous if we don't both get a bid at some point. Soon. Actually,
the issue is that we don't ever go far in the tournament.
The other 2 teams, if you're curious, were from the SEC. They were Kentucky and LSU.
I was going to say Kentucky.
And the 5th team was, I can't remember off the top of my head.
It doesn't matter. We're the best.
Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I don't hate Michigan.
I also don't hate Michigan, especially after having gone there for a UC game and having nothing but love from the fans around us. Maybe that's because we weren't supposed to be good.
I hate them for the 92 Final Four. That's about it.
Doesn't bother me.
It was a good team, though. It was a good team.
So, in any case, I think I speak for all of Bearcats Nation when we say that we need to win out regular season, and then it doesn't really matter what we do in the tournament, even though it's the same games against the same people. It's just tournament play at that point.
Yep.
So,
plus we have to go to Memphis
for the actual tournament. Yeah, who cares?
So you know those fans are gonna hate us.
They should. They hate us because they hate us. All right. So next we're gonna cover the Reds, and we do have a special guest with us tonight. We have Clay Snowden on our call line. He is a contributor for Locked On Reds. You can follow him on Twitter. And that's going to be at Clay, CLAY _Reds. So, Clay, we're just going to kind of get right into it. How long have you been doing this for Locked On Reds now?
I only started doing this a couple weeks ago. It's something I've always wanted to do some writing for sports. I follow all kinds of sports. So, got the opportunity with Locked On Reds and decided I'd take it, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Excellent. How long have you been following the Reds then? Have you been born and raised a fan, or?
Yeah, I'm born and raised and live in Louisville, Kentucky, and I've been watching the Reds since, as long as I can remember. Since I was a kid, it's probably the team I've been most loyal to following. Go to a lot of Bats games, of course. I'm one of those geeks that follows the minor leagues far too closely as well.
How are Bats games? I've always wanted to make it to one of those.
They're pretty fun.
It's a great stadium and a great atmosphere. You got to kind of come for certain players. At that AAA level, it's a lot of vets who are trying to prove that they're coming back from injury that won't play. But, watching Nick Senzel last year, growing up, Jay Bruce, Joey Votto, those type of guys, they're a lot of fun.
Friend of the show, Brandon Kunkel, we went down to Louisville for his bachelor party.
Oh, yeah, we're not telling that story.
I ended up hanging out with Billy Hamilton, actually. That was
I don't doubt that.
Pretty crazy
Billy
night.
Hamilton liked to go out a little bit.
Yeah, he came over while we were in the right field in those picnic table section.
Right.
Yeah, and ended up, hey, where are you guys going after the game? I'm going to hang out. You guys want to hang out? I'm going to hang out. Billy Hamilton.
That's your Billy Hamilton impression?
That's my Billy Hamilton impression, yeah. Talk really fast.
Hey, it's hard to do his voice because it's such a strange and, I don't know if cringy is the right word, but it's up there, voice.
All right, like I said, we're kind of going to get right into it. Spring training. Even before we got to spring training, the Reds kind of had a hell of an offseason, and it wasn't even on par with current regimes of Reds. So what's been your thoughts on what happened in the offseason, and then what are your thoughts on spring training so far?
Yeah, so the offseason was pretty wild. I did not see that stuff coming. I wanted to get rid of Homer Bailey so badly, but I never thought someone would do it. And then when I heard about that trade, and then the trade, we got Tanner Roark, which was a great trade for us, I think. That's a very underrated trade.
Tanner for Tanner.
And then the most recent signings of Iglesias and Dietrich. Those are awesome signings. I think the offseason went really well, and we're not tied into anything long term. So if these players don't work out, we're not committed to money, in years ahead of us.
I mean, it's been everybody wanted to get rid of Homer. I mean, that's 19 losses, I think, last year. That was just a dead weight.
And Homer didn't want to. He wanted a new start. I mean, I don't blame him either. He didn't win any of the fans over with all the injuries and the poor play and my kind of early takes from spring training. Obviously, whenever I talk about spring training, I first say stats don't tell the story, because you can be really good and be a fringe player, but you don't get that many at bats, and you can be really good and have horrible stats. I mean, Joey Votto's batting, I think, like 100. He's never gets off to a hot start.
Correct.
I mean, it's still really early in spring training, so any stats I talk about tonight, kind of take with a grain of salt, but just kind of like headliners so far, I think, of spring training. Phillip Ervin's just looking like something else right now. Getting a lot of fans excited. Almost, I'd say, kind of pump the brakes on the Phil Ervin. I love Phil Ervin. Always have. He's a first-round draft pick. Mm-hmm. He's hit some bombs. He's getting on base. He's walking. Peraza's playing awesome. He's doing what I always thought Peraza could do, and we saw glimpses of that, too, in the past. Kyle Farmer, who came over in the trade with Matt Kemp from the Dodgers and Yasiel Puig, he's been playing well, and he's a guy who's pretty interesting because he's played catcher, he's played all over the place, shortstop. I mean, it's just pretty strange. Mm-hmm. And then we all get to drool over Nick Senzel and watch him. His center field will take some time, as it does with anybody that changes positions. But Senzel's something that's going to be special.
Now, he's only played actual center field in a preseason game twice, I believe?
Yeah.
Before he took a ball off his foot.
But the thing that I've seen with him is he tracks the ball pretty well. And I read somewhere, I'd credit if I remember where, but one thing they pointed out was the misplay he had. Those spring training lights are much lower than they are in the MLB lights.
Okay.
So it's harder to track the ball.
Not something that the normal
not
fan
something
noticed.
I mean, that's one of those deals, if you're really looking for an excuse, you find something like that, but I'll take it.
Plus, we just upgraded to LED 2 seasons ago.
That's right, yeah.
Fun fact.
Are those going to be the same guys that you are most curious to watch the rest of spring training here? I mean, it sounds like Peraza kind of took off where he finished the season last year, because he was pretty hot coming into the end of the last season.
Whenever I look at spring training, of course I want the everyday players and players they're going to make the roster. I want to keep an eye on them, but what I really like to watch is the development from year to year. So I like watching, instead of oh yeah, I'm really excited to see Joey Votto in spring training, I'm more hey, I'm really excited to see what some of these prospects have. And that may just be because the past few years we've been so bad, it's almost more interesting to watch the prospects in the minors and dream of the future. So I want to list a couple players to watch, and when I say these names, they're probably going to be, some people won't know who they are, but these are players that, the reason why I want you to watch them is because they're really young, they have a lot of talent, and they're going to make impacts for the Reds in the next couple of years, maybe even some this year. So on the pitcher side, Vladimir Gutierrez, I think he's about 23 years old. He's only pitched 4 innings, but he's only given up 1 hit, has 4 strikeouts and no walks. And this guy is one of the better prospects that the Reds have, and he's the one to keep an eye on. Tony Santillan, he hasn't pitched a lot. His first couple of years in the organization were rough, but he's really brought it around the past 2 years. And last year with Pensacola, he looked really good. He's holding batters to a 176 clip right now. And then my guy is Jimmy Herget. This guy,
Jimmy, what?
I've been a big fan of his. Jimmy Herget, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Herget.
He has 5 Ks already in 4 innings, only giving up 1 hit. I mean, he's just this guy who has consistently put up numbers in the minors, and he is on the 40-man roster this year, and I think he is going to be one of the first people called up once an injury happens. So those are the pitchers. And kind of the batters I'm keeping an eye on. Tylar Stephenson, who's a catcher, was a high draft pick, had injuries in the beginning of his career. I just think he's going to be a really solid hitter. He's a couple years away, but he's someone to keep an eye on. Taylor Trammell is just big potential, listed top 100 prospect. I mean, he's listed anywhere from 11 to 33, depending on what you look at. I think he's probably going to be up next year and being in a corner outfield if we don't bring back Puig, for instance. Mm-hmm. And then Jose Siri, who's on the 40-man roster as well. He's a center fielder. The story with him is he has speed and he has incredible defensive skills, but he strikes out too much, and he really needs to work on his bat. It's going to be a big year for him in the minors to see where he can project.
Now, he's got a lot of power as well, correct?
Yeah, he has some gap power, too. I mean, he's just an interesting guy. I'd watch games last year when he was at Pensacola, and you'd watch him and be like, wow, this guy is just like a toolsy, rangy, he's fast, he hits triples, he does this, that, and the other. And then you'd watch games, and he's 0 for 4, 30 strikeouts, looks lost. I mean, that's just part of development. And some of these kids take longer than others. So he's definitely a guy I'm going to keep a close eye on.
I know his name was mentioned a couple times in some of the trade talks in the offseason as well, and the Reds didn't want to lose him, especially when they were doing like the JT Realmuto talks and what have you.
Right. He was mentioned, and Jonathan India was another guy who was mentioned, who is a third baseman / second baseman / who really knows where they're going to put him, that we took in the first round, I think 5th overall. He's an interesting guy. He is in camp, but he's one of those, the reason why I don't list some of these guys, I only list the players that are either on the 40-man roster or on the actual non-invitee list, because those are the players that are going to be playing the most. There's other prospects that are really going to be interesting, but they only get in, you don't really know when they're going to get in, so now it's day of where they're going to play, so it's easier to track these guys.
Is there anything else going on in Arizona right now that we should know about? I know, we've seen some of the headlines coming out of the Enquirer where you have Puig kind of taking on the younger guys, taking them under wing. We've heard about the impromptu home run derby between Winker, Puig, Matt Kemp, and Schebler. Any other stories we should know about?
So one of the cooler things that I think with the Puig deal is Puig gets this strange rep of kind of like the old timers probably hate him, and a lot of the younger kids love him.
Like
the
Marty
bat
Brenneman.
flips, the bat licks, But a lot of people just kind of think he's a kind of too showy or show off. He has spent time with multiple younger outfielders, teaching them things and taking them one-on-one, showing them different techniques and talking to them. And if you follow his Instagram, I mean, he's just hilarious. How he just seems like he's been best friends with these guys forever. And that's the type of thing that I don't know if we've had in the locker room for a while. And I think it's good. I mean, it could go sour, sure, but it also brings kind of looseness. And, sometimes these guys seem a little bit uptight. So it's good to get someone who's loose in there and, bring in something a little different.
I feel like he's almost a manic personality where his, highs are extra, extra high, but his lows are going to be, super depressed.
Absolutely. He is definitely going to be somebody who, right, the thing that scares me is he has this, bubble that could burst. Everyone's so bullish on, him being the fan favorite, and everyone loves him already. And I'm like, well, let's just take a step back. We may be overhyping this guy a little bit. Let's let him play a baseball game in a Reds uniform before we start building the statue. So he'll go in a slump at some point. I'm sure he will. Right. Everyone does.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to see how he rebounds from that, and also interesting to see how the fans kind of deal with it.
Yeah, Puig's Instagram is a gift from God.
It is I was just saying we're too bullish, and I will admit I've seen some of those things. I said to my friend, I'm like, sign this guy in a 10-year deal right now.
Exactly.
I just want him around the team. I don't even care if he performs at this point. He's just fun. I think that's the thing. The Reds haven't had
fun.
A fun atmosphere, a fun feel to the team in a while. I just think the change was great from top to bottom with the coaching staff and everything.
Absolutely.
I've likened him to a shot of adrenaline that was much needed on this team, actually. So it's
absolutely.
And you already can feel from anybody who considers themselves an average fan to diehards, they are so energized already without having seen him play in a full game.
Oh, people are tuning in. People that I'm friends with that haven't followed the Reds since 2012, 2013, or whatever, they're texting me, hey, what's the deal? Tell me about this guy. Hey, let's go to a game. It's going to put people in seats, which is something the Reds have been struggling with. Mm-hmm. And the other part about it, like everyone just thinks, oh, well, these guys are just on one-year deals. They'll walk. Like, hey, we can spend some money if we want to, if we want to bring the guy back. And the Reds can also decide, hey, let's, it didn't work out. They can move on. They're not locked up.
Exactly.
So what do you think, kind of compared to last year, what do you think the difference was in the mindset of upper management to actually make some of these moves, pull the trigger on some of these moves that they were hesitant to do before? I mean, I can only think of I think there was only 1 or 2 free agent acquisitions last year in the offseason. Nothing to speak of.
Ticket sales?
Right. My thoughts on that is they were just not in the spot right then to. They haven't had so they've had the talent in terms of the offense. We have the same exact infield. It's pretty reasonable that last year's offense could win games. It's just the pitching has been so bad. And why they've been waiting, I'm really not sure. I think a lot of the time we forget that, hey, who we brought in? Everyone's like, oh, well, they didn't bring in any pitching. They haven't signed anybody. If you go back and you look at the trades that we had done, when we traded Johnny Cueto and, those type of guys. So we traded Johnny Cueto and all these people. We brought back people that we thought were going to be talented. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're not, but Brandon Finnegan, Cody Reed, John Lamb, that Aroldis Chapman deal. We brought in Caleb Coffin. Caleb Coffin, Ricky Davis, third baseman, I can't remember the name of, and Tony Renda. The only guy that's still in the Reds organization is Caleb Coffin. He's not even a pitcher. He's the assistant pitching coach now. Oh. So, we brought in people. They just haven't panned out. Kind
of on that same note, what do you think happens with Scooter? How much are you putting into him? All the headlines are saying he's complaining about not getting an extension yet.
Scooter, here's the deal with Scooter. Scooter we got for nothing. We picked him up off the claim, and it worked out extremely well for us. And that is awesome. And I think Scooter is a very, very good player. I do not think that the Reds are going to re-sign Scooter simply because if you look, I think Senzel will probably play second base next year. I think this is kind of a gap year deal. Jose Siri, which we touched on, Taylor Trammell, we're bringing in we already have a crowded outfield, and we're bringing in more young guys. And Scooter, I don't know what he's going to do this year, how he performs. He's obviously done the past 2 years have been great. But, I don't know. He's not old by any means, and he still will get a good contract with somebody. Yeah. I just know, the Reds are probably not going to be that team if I had to guess.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's kind of the whole business side of it, because I really like Scooter, but his defense is subpar, and this whole team defensively is not very good. Yeah, so I think they need to focus on getting their defense better as well.
My fear with the Scooter thing is we're going to try to pull the trigger like we did with Homer, and he had the 2 no-hitters, and it's let's sign him to a huge contract. The Scooter had the 4 home run game, and all of a sudden his contract's coming up, and let's sign him to a huge contract. And no, let's not do that. We learned our lesson the first time. Yeah,
this year is going to be very important for Scooter. He knows that. If he slumps, it's a contract year. It's important for everybody.
Exactly.
Any contract year is important. But if he does 3 years in a row of what he's done, I don't know what to do. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions.
Trade deadline.
Kind of switching gears. Yeah. We've heard this offseason, David Bell, new coach, he's talked quite a bit about going into this season with 12 pitchers. We keep hearing, don't be surprised if you see 12 pitchers. Do you think we're actually, looking kind of at the logjam that we're having right now with just kind of the roster itself, do you think we go into the beginning of the season with 12 pitchers, or we're going with 11?
I think that it could. I don't really know about that. I'll talk about the coaching staff a little bit. So one thing I know about the coaching staff so far, just from what observations from spring training, is they're forward thinking. They're trying new things, which I really like. They are playing players in positions that they don't really play that often. And we're talking about Connor Joe, who got in the Rule 5 draft, playing first base. He's playing catcher. Kyle Farmer's playing shortstop. He's playing first base. He's playing catch. Obviously, what they're showing is they want versatility. They bring in Derek Dietrich. Why? He's a good hitter who can play corner outfield, third, second, first. The guy can play anywhere. So I'm seeing them really focusing on this versatility, and it's making me think shorter bench, one extra pitcher. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But that's not always the case, But it's obvious that they want versatility. Obviously, they can carry more pitchers. It's going to see. That's the hardest thing about spring training when it comes to pitchers. You could tell they'd carry more pitchers if these pitchers were pitching normal amount of innings, because they'd be maybe pulling them earlier, using more pitchers in different situations. You could see, okay, yeah, he's not afraid to burn a pitcher. You know what I mean? But another thing that I realized is it really feels like they came in here because they wanted the challenge. It wasn't a move to me that, we bring in the new pitching coach Johnson from Milwaukee. That was a great team last year. Why would you leave that? But
right.
He wanted the challenge, and I think that they're going to try some new things, some new tactics. When you look at the pitchers that we've been developing the past few years, not a lot of them have panned out. So something needed to change. So I'm really happy with this coaching staff just because of the amount that they're willing to try.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of seeing the same thing going on with the Cincinnati Bengals right there on the river as well. We're bringing in a new pitcher or bringing in a new coach with a whole new outlook when we've been kind of setting our ways with. I mean, the average age of the coach for the Reds now has been well over 50.
Yeah.
When you look at, Brian Price and his replacement and Dusty Baker, I mean, it's been old dude.
Yep, exactly.
So, no, I'm especially excited about just how much they're already talking about analytics, because you weren't going to get that out of any of the previous three managers of the Reds.
Absolutely not.
So with that all said, just kind of some prediction questions that we have. First and foremost, what do you think happens with Nick Senzel? I know what I think is going to happen, and I just kind of want to see if it's in line with what you think.
What do I want to happen, or what do I think will happen?
Both.
I think we're on the same page already.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I just answered our question. Obviously, I'm going to opening day, so my selfish self says I want him in center field. What do I think will happen is they'll probably do the service time deal with it. If he's down for 2 weeks, get extra year of control.
I mean, the Cubs did the same thing with Chris Bryant.
What's that?
The Cubs did the same thing with Chris Bryant.
Right, and he's still mad about it. My deal with it is this. This new manager, if I'm him, I'm saying, hey, listen, I want to win. And if you want to win, obviously you want to win, you have to field the best team. The best team for the Cincinnati Reds has Nick Senzel in center field in 2019.
Yep.
So if you can convince upper management, hey, maybe we steal a win or two, I don't know, but I think that Nick Senzel in center field. The other thing is, the only other player I really trust playing center field other than him is Scott Schebler, and I don't really know how much I trust Scott Schebler in center field.
Same.
Cincinnati's an easier center field to play than most stadiums, but, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I think Senzel's going to have a great year if he can stay healthy. He's battled with injuries, some funky injuries too, some vertigo stuff, and so I just hope that he stays healthy, because I think he has a very, very bright future.
Didn't Votto have vertigo?
He did.
Yeah, so he'll just be the next Votto. He'll be all right.
Yeah, I think we could all settle with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Some other prediction type stuff I have. I'm seeing 79 to 81 wins.
Okay.
That would be my range. I think Peraza's going to have a year that people around the league are going to start talking about him. He's shown the hitting tools. I mean, he has speed. I want to see how much we try to steal with this new staff, because he could definitely be a guy who racks up some steals. I think the most important player on this year's team is Luis Castillo. And the reason why is he's at that point right now where we know he has ace stuff, but he hasn't quite put it all together yet in terms of consistency.
Right.
So this year, everyone was saying, we need to go out and get an ace, get, Kluber or whatever, My thing is, hey, you could potentially have that guy on the staff already. He has the stuff. So it's going to be a really big year to show, hey, listen, I can be an ace, or, hey, I'm going to be a really good three in the rotation guy. And I think we go as far as the pitching takes us. I mean, the starting pitching is going to be a big make or break of this team, bringing in three new guys who I like all of them personally. I think Tanner Roark is just solid. I don't think he's going to be somebody who's going to have huge long streaks of being bad and then amazing. I just think he's a pretty solid pitcher, and I think that's something the Reds need.
Yeah.
So kind of like Bronson Arroyo?
Yeah, maybe. I think Bronson Arroyo had a couple of years that were just awesome. I don't know if Tanner Roark has that, but I mean, like I said, I just think he's going to be somebody who's going to be reliable, give him the ball every 5 days, and you're going to get a good, he's going to eat up some innings, he's going to pitch well.
So Arroyo in his later years. Excellent.
Yes, there's not Arroyo in his last year. Not that.
Oh no, we don't. Nobody wants that.
No.
We need another guy with a guitar, though. I'm missing those JT
we
commercials.
Do.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day if I think when it's all said and done, Bronson Arroyo will have a better baseball career or a music career.
Ooh.
And I said, well, like the music career isn't over. I mean, there's still a lot there. I don't know. Like that's a tough question.
He could still go in The Voice and get big.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Blake Shelton would pick him.
Get out of here.
I missed the JTM commercials. I'm sorry.
So, are we going to see Sal Romano start the season in the bullpen?
That is my prediction, and I am awesome with that. The thing about Sal is he went to the bullpen some last year. He is truly willing to play wherever he has to play, as long as he doesn't have to play the field, to get innings. And I love that mentality.
Yeah.
Brandon Finnegan was the guy who kind of, hey, I want to be a starter, I want to be a starter, I want to be a starter. And to me, it's like, listen, you want to play the game as long as you can.
However
you want to be flexible. So I think, like, in terms of, like, the bubble guys, you got Finnegan, Cody Reed, Sal Romano, Robert, Bob Stevenson, Blandino, Connor Joe, and Irvin. And I think Finnegan will not make the team. I like Finnegan, though. I mean, I do. He's had some weird injuries. I just think they're going to have to send him to Louisville. Cody Reed, I mean, there's too many lefties. Finnegan, Reed, Amir Garrett, they just signed Zach Duke. They have Peralta out there. I mean, it's a lot of lefties fighting.
Yeah.
I think Sal Romano makes it. I think Robert Stevenson is claimed off waivers by another team because we're going to have to put him on waivers because he doesn't have any options. If we want Dietrich on the team and Iglesias or Senzel, we need to clear up a spot on the 40-man. So I think that's where you see Stevenson go. Blandino's, I'm pretty sure Blandino's still injured. He's going to open up in AAA probably.
Right.
Even if it's just kind of like a rehab assignment. Connor Joe, we claimed him from L.A. in the Rule 5. And the rules of that is if he does not stay on the active roster all year, we have to send him back to L.A. You all may remember Stuart Turner, the catcher, we kept on the roster all year long and barely played him. I don't think that's going to happen this year with Connor Joe. I think he'll be back. And I think Philip Irvin will start in AAA simply because he has the options left to do so.
How much do you think we're going to see of Matt Kemp?
So I love that you brought that up because Matt Kemp is a guy I wanted to talk about. He could find a way into a platoon situation if Senzel's up and Senzel's in center and Shebler is the fourth outfielder. The only thing I can see with Matt Kemp on this roster is him platooning against lefties in some capacity, rather than being with Jesse Winker sitting against lefties. But I just have this weird feeling that, like, Matt Kemp's still a good player. He wasn't great after – he was an All-Star last year. He was slow after the All-Star break, but he still has some pop, and I think he wants to play every day. So what I think will happen, he may be on the roster for that first 2 weeks if Senzel's down, but I could see a deal where they trade him and probably have to still pay some of the salary and whatnot, but I would think Kemp would want to be more of an everyday player, or he's probably in this point of his career at DH. Ship him to a team that's rebuilding, have a veteran on their team. That's the type of, like, GM move mentally I'm thinking of. Hey, here's this guy who, like, a veteran near the end of his career, may need to get some more at-bats, but, hey, if they can keep him on there and they can get him at-bats, I just don't see where they will unless they do a platoon situation with him batting against lefties.
Well, I know he's been hot in spring training, so hopefully that keeps up, especially if we're trying to move him.
Right. And I don't have any, nobody's told me that they're trying to move him or anything like that. I'm just going off gut feeling of it. But I've been a Matt Kemp fan my whole life. I would love for him to be hitting home runs at Great American Ballpark. But it comes down to those roster spots, and do you want to carry 5 outfielders, and, or is Senzel going to play some super utility thing like a Ben Zobrist, where one day he's at second, and next day he's at third, he's in center, There's a lot of scenarios still with it being this early in spring training to have to work out, but I think Matt Kemp's definitely going to be a a thing to watch.
I know we haven't touched at all on one player in particular that I'm thinking of. What are your expectations of Jesse Winker this year?
I like Winker a lot. I think this is the first time his shoulder's actually healthy coming into the season. He put up numbers last year. He got on base. He hit 299. He's not a big pop guy. He's not going to hit a ton of home runs. And if they do lead him off, if he is the leadoff hitter, that's not necessarily the goal, to just be hitting home runs, be getting on base, which he does well. His defense is an issue. But you could say that about several players on this team. It's going to be exciting because we're just going to go for a bunch of runs and hope the pitching holds up and hope the defense holds up. It's going to be like really exciting back and forth. I really hope we see like a 15-17 W this year.
All right, pitching,
but Jesse Winker, he's not the greatest fielder, but he's adequate and he does well with the bat. And with him being healthy, I think he's going to have. He's probably like my. If you could call him like a breakout player, he'd be my pick this year.
So in that same breath, do you have a breakout pitcher this year?
Luis Castillo. I don't know if you could call that a breakout because he's already shown success and everyone kind of. So okay, how about this? If I don't take him, let me peep this roster real quick. Who would I take? Maybe Amir Garrett.
Okay.
I was really high on Amir Garrett. I went to Pensacola and watched him pitch. And I saw him in Louisville. Actually, he just has. Not only does he have like the stuff, but he has that swagger that you kind of need as a dominating bullpen guy. He has the mentality of like, I'm going to get you out.
I love me some Amir Garrett because of that. When what was it last year? When he struck that guy, I forget who it was now. It was last year. But he struck the guy out and he just started like yelling and screaming and the guy took offense to it.
Right.
Like, I loved it.
That's what you need. When he has it all together, he's a threat. He's a problem. So hopefully he can have a great year. He also just seems like such a great guy, too. So anytime you can bring something like that to a team, you want them to be the breakout guy.
Exactly.
I feel like even with the transition from starter to bullpen, he's literally said and done all the right things. Like, you couldn't wish a guy to transition from a starter to the bullpen any better. Like, he's just taken it all in stride and gone out there and tried to play his ass off literally every time he comes into the game.
I also love that he got to play college basketball while he was getting paid by the Reds.
Yeah, that's such like a flex, Just like, hey, I'm here playing some basketball. Sure, I'm also getting my bag.
Yeah, I like some Amir Garrett.
I wanted to give one hot take on each year I pick a new fan favorite, and it cannot be like a big-name player. So it can't be also a Puig, right? So my fan favorite pitcher is Jimmy Herget. If he can get up, because he throws funky, everyone's going to remember what is that arm slot, and he's good. And then the Derek Dietrich, I think, will be a fan favorite because people are going to love the fact that he's going to be the guy who would do anything for the team. Oh, you need me to play third, middle of the game, I'll switch over to first. And he hits well. He batted something like 292 away from the Marlins Park last year. And he knows he's a professional hitter. I mean, this guy knows how to play. And I think, expectations aren't going to be super high because he's going to be a bench guy. And I know both of them are not signed to major league deals right now. And I think the reason that works is happening around the league is these guys, everyone's like, why are they not at a major league deal? Well, in their minor league contract, it's if I make the majors, here's the amount I make. So I think it's kind of hey, listen, come into camp, under the table handshake, you're going to make the team. The reason why you're not on the major league roster is because we have a couple prospects that we're going to have to make decisions on if we put them through waivers or not. We'd rather see them play out the spring. We'll make a decision on one of them, clear their roster spot, and then your clause in your minor league contract kicks in for your major league pay. No one's told me that. That's just something I've thought about because I'm like, why are these veterans signing minor league deals who are talented?
And that's why the Reds go with a guy like a Derek Dietrich or like a Jose Iglesias as opposed to a guy like Josh Harrison.
Yes, and Josh Harrison is an interesting player. I know a lot of people want to bring him back, Cincinnati guy, this, that, and the other. I think he may even start. Get a pretty significant amount of starts, if not start, for the Tigers. So Jose Iglesias is interesting, and the reason that I like that addition is late game defense. He's a phenomenal glove guy. I mean, he's 1 for 10 this spring batting. But we're not asking him to come in and, hit 275 or anything.
Mm-hmm.
What you expect out of Jose Iglesias is just solid defense. So imagine if he can. I'm kind of playing, the show right now in my head. Late 8th inning, 9th inning, you can take Scooter out, put Jose Iglesias at second. He hasn't played second in a while, but I saw a quote that he was kind of willing to, play other positions. And if you can just have a late defensive replacement that's as solid as him, I mean, that means a lot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
A lot of pieces.
There's
only 25 spots.
Yeah, these signings were great. I mean, those were great signings.
I just looked up a picture of Derek Dietrich, by the way. I think you're right. I think my wife is going to fall in love with him, and as she does with another player every year. Last year she was heartbroken when we traded, what was the catcher from Punxsutawney?
Oh, really? Tucker.
No? Tucker's still on the team.
Not Tucker.
What was the catcher that we traded away to the Mets last year?
Oh, Devin Mesoraco.
Thank you, Mesoraco.
That was her boyfriend last year, and she was heartbroken when he got shipped out. So I think Dietrich's going to be her new boyfriend after I just looked at him.
Hey, yeah, and I'm telling you what, go on YouTube and watch some of his swings. The guy's just a solid MLB player. He's been playing for a bad team.
Well, Google Images shows how solid he is as he doesn't have a shirt on in like the 4th and 5th image. So there is that.
Well, yeah.
And now everybody's tuned out of the podcast.
On there.
Everybody's now tuned out of the podcast to go Google.
So that got weird for everybody. On that note, Clay, anything else you want to add before we let you go?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'm excited about this Red season. I think we can all hear you're excited about this Red season.
I know you mentioned a hat.
I know you mentioned the show. It's 150 years this year. We already seen images of Puig. If you've seen any of the MLB The Show commercials, Puig blasting a home run. I don't know. I don't know that we could be more excited about 20 new uniforms, 15 new uniforms, something like that.
A ton of uniforms.
Yeah, a ton of new
uniforms.
And
they're awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
fire.
Every single one of them.
Ton of new hats this year for Ed to splurge a ton of money on. So, yeah, so much to be excited about. I'm probably going to try and get down to, I would like to think about 10 games this year, if not more. But it's going to be a year.
I'm so excited. I'm going to Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Cleveland. Oh, man. I've got several Reds road trips planned out that I'm doing to watch them.
Let us know when you go, and if you want to come on and talk about like the atmosphere and different stadiums and stuff, we'd kind of love to hear some stories.
Absolutely, we'll do.
All right, well, we'll be in touch. Again, you can look for him. He is a contributor for Locked On Reds. You can follow him at Clay_Reds on Twitter. Clay Snowden, we thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Come back! Come back! We got more winning to do! Cincinnati is big enough for soccer! Yeah! We are a new city! Do you believe in a new Cincinnati? Cincinnati is big enough for soccer! Yeah! Do you believe in Ryan Geist? New bars! New cities embrace big things! New sports! New cities embrace soccer! Yeah! Soccer! Yeah! Come back! We got more winning to do! Come back!
That was a really long intro that time, Ed.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So, FCC's first MLS game is in the books. And it was a loss.
It was a loss.
Expansion teams generally don't do well.
Yeah.
We'll throw that out there. We weren't expected to do well this year. 4-1 loss to the Seattle Sounders in Seattle. Mind you, that's a very loud stadium. It does hold the NFL record for loudest stadium, if I'm not mistaken. We scored first.
We did score first.
So there's that.
Got it right here.
DePlan keeps it himself, was trying to get it to his right foot. Then a strike from Bertoni, and the magical moment belongs to Leonardo Bertoni. He opens the FC Cincinnati account with a goal in the 14th minute.
I'll tell you what, also, we're going to get disrespected by every single fan group in the MLS. Did you see where they had the fans?
No.
So you know how at Nippard they have like the big banners across the top row?
Yeah.
They had the same thing in Seattle.
Okay.
And it's like they removed one banner and just had like one sliver for just FC Cincinnati fans, and they were all the way up at the top.
Now, do you think it was just because it was us, or do you think they do that for everybody?
No, because I have a friend who's going to the game, the next game. Is it Atlanta?
Yes.
Yeah. And they've already gotten emails from their support groups saying they're only allowed to come in at this time. They're getting a police escort into the stadium.
That's a normal thing. FC was talking about doing the same thing for anybody who comes into our stadium. That's a normal thing for MLS. I don't know. I think it has more to do with things that happen over in Europe because things get insane with European soccer.
We have Cincinnati and Xavier and Cincinnati and Pittsburgh here.
Listen,
We know how to
I'm
handle
not the one
ourselves.
making the rules. I'm just telling you what I've read.
I know. Well, I hear you. It's going to be crazy. We're going to get disrespected.
So I don't know anything about all that. However, you heard the call for. I read that it came in the 13th minute. I don't know why he was saying 14th minute. Everything that I read said 13th.
They don't have the clock on the video, so I can't tell.
Well, ESPN said it.
Well,
But listen to these statistics and tell me why you think we lost.
I can't. Okay.
Seattle's possession 64% of the time.
Well,
FCC's 36%.
there's one.
Seattle 24 shots, 9 on goal. FCC 7 shots, 3 on goal. You're not going to win a game getting 7 shots.
No, you're not. But let's also keep in mind we're a new team.
I understand, because if you remember how bad the Vancouver Grizzlies were, and still are, and the Raptors were when they were expansion teams, in the NFL, you had the Texans and the Cleveland Browns Volume 2. You also had the Panthers and the Jaguars were old enough to remember as well, and they were really bad for a while. Going on more of the statistics, 6 fouls for Seattle. FCC had 13. FCC got 1 yellow card and 1 offsides call. Seattle had neither of either one of those statistics. FCC had 1 corner kick to Seattle's 6. FCC had 6 saves and Seattle had 2. Obviously, they had less shots that they had to defend.
Correct.
So, it makes sense statistically why we lost the game.
Yes.
What we have to hope, and I feel like I'm already seeing people saying fire Alan Koch.
Those people need to go away.
I mean, it's
those people are just
wrong.
They're not.
It's one game, man.
Come on.
It's one game. I think your brother was one of those people.
I think he was.
I think Bill was.
Bill's one of those.
I don't know, man. All I know is we're here in 3 years. It took us 3 years to get here. And this is our 4th season. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And Alan Koch has led us in, 2 of those seasons? Last year, I think, was
all of them but one, right?
No, I thought last year was his first season.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay,
we're going with it. We're going with it. But I mean, we have Atlanta United FC up next. We knew this was going to be a gauntlet early on. We had talked about it, that it's going to be some tough games. Atlanta United FC, they're the returning champions from last year. We do play them Sunday, March 10th at 5 p.m. in Atlanta. You can catch the game on ESPN. I mean, there's not going to be – you have to celebrate the little victories. We knew that it's not an offensive team. It's a more defensive-built team.
Right.
So that's the thing that upsets me, is that we're getting scored on 4 times.
No, we had Koch for the 2017 and 2018 season.
You win. Well done.
Thank you.
I should be better.
Yeah, be better, Aaron. Be better.
So, I don't know.
Got him!
So, like I said, I mean, it's exciting that we're here. It's exciting to see an inaugural season of this FC Cincinnati club.
I apologize that we don't have more to say about the game because we didn't actually watch the game.
I watched the second half.
Oh, did you?
Speak for yourself. Yeah,
did you get home in enough time to watch the second half?
Yeah. When
I went straight to bed. I was tired.
I turned it on.
We were at the UC game, so I do plan on watching the Atlanta game.
Yeah, well, it'll be on right after the Bearcats.
And actually, I plan on hitting record on all the games so I can go back and watch them. Because I need to learn this stuff, dude. Parker's getting ready to play soccer this year. They don't have a coach. I might have to step up.
You're going to need to know what offsides is.
Lord help us all. Lord help us all. This is just be me. I'll be standing out there. They're like, do you know what position I should play? And I'm going to be like,
I like turtles.
You know, I'm not going to know what to do.
Like, nah.
Nah, man.
Nah. All right.
Nah, man.
Just a couple quick things we need to touch on the Bengals.
I closed it on
You
accident.
hate the Bengals. You don't even want to talk about them in the offseason.
I closed it on accident. Here we go.
That's baseball.
Okay, well, close
That's
enough.
baseball. So, get out of here. All right. So, the Bengals have finished hiring the coaching staff. Courtesy of Paul Dehner of the Cincinnati Enquirer, our average age has gone down from 45.4 to 37.4. That's a crazy stat.
Why is that a stat?
We lost 8 years of age in our coaching staff per coach, which means we lost 8 years of NFL experience.
I lost 8 minutes of my life listening to you give that stat.
That's a crazy stat, though, man.
It's a weird stat, but
it's just saying they're a lot younger, which we already knew.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true,
our head
yeah.
coach,
I think we're older than him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we're either the same age or older. He's not 35 yet, I don't believe.
What's his name again?
Is that Coach Taylor?
Oh yeah, Coach Taylor. That's right.
Coach Taylor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's not old enough to run for president.
Can't lose. Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. Let's hear it, gentlemen. Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. Let's go play some football. Let's go, baby.
I will never refer to him as anything other than Coach Taylor. I can't get enough.
When I type Zach Taylor into Google, it comes up to 12th U.S. president.
You spelled it wrong. Just a C. Z-A-C.
Oh, gotcha.
That's
All
it.
right. Yeah.
The two coaches of note that we hired, we had a defensive line coach, Nick Eason. He was an assistant with the Tennessee Titans from 2014 to 2017. And then he actually was the defensive line coach from 16 to 17 there. Also, our linebackers coach, Tim Lukabo. He was defensive Bay Buccaneers defensive assistant from 12 to 13. He was a 49ers defensive quality control coach from 2016 to 2017. And then just last year, he was actually Mississippi State's linebacker coach. So these guys all have some type of NFL experience somewhere along the way, just not necessarily in the role that they're stepping into. What that excites about me, or what I'm excited about, is the fact that we talked about it earlier in the Reds interview. These are all young guys with different perspectives.
Yeah, they've all grew up on Madden, yeah.
Everybody hated everything that Marvin Lewis was bringing to the table with these old ideas, not looking into any of the analytics or anything. I got to think that this year's going to be – it might not be good, but it's going to be different.
That's true.
So –
that's true.
Some other things of note this year
fact
for this week. Jake Fisher.
Yeah.
He is converting to a tight end. He's probably not going to be with this team next year, but something to look out for. 280-pound Jake Fisher running around out there as a tight end. We know he's got hands. He came in and did some different things with us. I mean, I think there was at least one pass, 2 passes, 3 passes to him.
I know you want to do a mock draft show
at some point,
but I have a lot of questions before we do that.
How do you mean?
Like, Eifert?
Yeah.
Do we sign him again? Because he was only on a 1-year contract.
Correct.
But he's also glass.
I would like to think that it's going to be a contract worth even less than it was this past year.
So then do we go after a tight end?
In the draft?
Yeah.
Quite possibly. I don't know that you go there in the first round.
Quarterback?
We'll work on that. We're going to have
so many questions, guys.
We're going to have a mock draft show. We don't want to get into that right now.
So many questions.
However, John Ross was rumored to be on the trade block this week. And immediately at the Combine, Coach Taylor and Duke Tobin, our GM de facto, they refuted the claims, basically saying that they can't wait to the coaches said they couldn't wait to work with him and see what they got in this secret weapon, John Ross.
He actually said, and I quote, fake news.
He did.
Yes.
Duke Tobin said that, but yeah.
I said, great, awesome, this is what we need. This is some fake news out here.
Wrong.
I think we were just like trying to like the rest of the league think, oh, hey, they might be getting up John Ross, and then we're just like,
got him!
I think what happened was the fact that there was a team that wanted him, so they put that trade rumor out there.
Oh, yeah.
And they're
For
like,
sure.
oh, well,
that's how it happens.
The Bengals want to trade him.
Yeah.
Or John Ross actually wants out. And so his agent put it out there. Oh, the Bengals are trying to trade him to try and force the hand, seeing what's happening. I did hear that the Chicago Bears immediately were on the horn trying to trade for John Ross. If you're going to trade him, I don't know. I mean, wide receiver's pretty deep this year in the draft. Also, there's some decent wide receiver free agents out there, but I still just think there's an X factor with John Ross that I'd like to see before we cut ties. I'd hate to see somebody else reap the reward. Because if you remember correctly, it took Tyler Boyd until his third season, just this past year, until he was actually good. I don't know.
There's Friday. So, guy from work, Jason Barron, or Jason, he's a friend of the show. He retweeted the Adam Schefter that teams have spoken to the Steelers about potential Antonio Brown trade expected to be in place by Friday. He said Ross, Dalton, and 5 players to be named later for Brown. You heard it first.
Yeah, no.
I'll take it.
Nope.
I'll take it.
Whole lot of nope, because then we have no quarterback.
Oh, we go to the draft.
Okay. You don't know anything about the draft. We're not even in a good place to get a quarterback.
No, there's going to be a quarterback in it.
At 11, we're not in a good place to get a good
Saracen's
quarterback.
available.
Matthew Saracen does not count. He's on a weird show now that my wife watches called, Girls or something. No.
He should not be on that show.
I don't know. He's on some show on Netflix.
I'm also watching it again.
It was really weird seeing him in, a
dress?
A steamy scene in a car.
It wasn't Julie Taylor?
No, it was the chick from Parenthood.
Don't know that one. Gotcha. All right, cool.
All right. That's all I got on the Bengals.
That's all.
It's time to round third. All right, Eb. What are your thoughts on Bryce Harper's mega deal? 13 years, $330 million?
I don't know. It's a stupid deal. There's no... I don't know. How do you pay a man $300 million?
330.
Yeah, 330. He's not going to play that long. And it's guaranteed money.
He's already had bad seasons.
I know.
At 26.
The problem is it's guaranteed money, and I don't like that it's guaranteed money. He's going to get paid.
With no opt-outs.
Yeah, the man's now rich.
I think it's a terrible deal.
What did Derek Jeter end up with?
Not
his
that.
Final year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A-Rod ended up with way more than Derek Jeter ever did.
Oh, that's what I meant. A-Rod, yeah.
He ended up on a 10-year 300.
And now he's on Shark Tank.
Same as Joey Votto ended with.
I mean, good for him.
But terrible deal.
Yeah. Hey, what's the best fast food fish sandwich?
I mean, I don't know that I've ever ordered one outside of the McDonald's Filet-O-Fish. I do love me the McDonald's Filet-O-Fish, though.
Oh, Filet-O-Fish?
Yeah.
You get that double Filet-O-Fish?
That's...
You gotta get
when they got that special, when it's Lent.
You gotta get that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, because Lent is this week.
Well, are you going with the 2 fillets, 1 bun, or are you going with the 2 Filet-O-Fish?
No,
because they have both.
Well, yeah, they do. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get the double Filet-O-Fish, 2 fillets, 1 bun.
That one's pretty good, but I don't know if they're putting enough cheese on that.
No, they put a cheese on each one.
I don't know if they're putting enough. I don't know if I like the filet to cheese to tartar or tartar.
Tartar sauce?
Tartar sauce. I don't know if I like that ratio.
I don't know if I like it either. But I also heard that Chick-fil-A is...
Are they getting in the fish game?
They're getting in the fish game. It's a fish fillet.
All right. Well, I mean, because otherwise they got no Catholic business on Fridays.
I'll let you know. I think I might hit up the Chick-fil-A on Friday.
They did get a new cheese sauce at Chick-fil-A, though.
Right?
Yeah.
You ever had the Polynesian sauce?
Man, That's how I eat my waffle fries.
Oh, I usually put on my chicken strips.
Go with the Polynesian. Dip the waffle fries in the Polynesian. That's the secret sauce.
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Did you know who Luke Perry was? Or that he was?
I watch that 02 all the time.
Or that he was a Reds fan from Mansfield?
Yes.
You knew all those things?
Did he throw out a pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a picture with him shaking hands, dapping up Ken Griffey Jr. Didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I had no clue.
I was a huge... Wow, let's turn this off now because it's not working. I was a huge fan of the 90210 back in the day.
R.I.P. Luke Perry.
Yeah, 90210 was my stuff. He got all the girls on that show.
Him and Brian Austin Green?
No, Brian Austin Green didn't really get the girls in that show, to be honest with you.
I never watched.
Huh. Well, you can tell I wrote my questions around lunchtime. What's the best burger in Cincinnati?
Well, that's a good question. So, I never made it to Terry Surf and Turf before they closed up shop. Because
they're open.
Because he's a terrible person.
He's open. They're open now.
Yeah, I'm not going.
New ownership.
Is it?
Yeah.
They got rid of all the signs today.
Oh, did they really?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you read that at?
On Cincinnati.com.
Oh, I'll have to... Well, I don't... Yeah, okay.
I think it's the Enquirer.
I didn't know that. I know.
Yeah.
I thought they reopened their new ownership.
I don't know.
Huh.
They aren't about the neon signs. I guess Terry took those with him.
I hope they... I mean... Hold on.
What's happening?
I don't know, man. I was trying to get some music for us, but so the reason why I asked that question is because Cincy Shirts interviewed the CEO of Gold Star, and he states that they're bringing burgers back to their newly renovated locations.
I wish they'd stop talking.
He said he put that up against any burger in Cincinnati.
Zips is really good if you've ever had Zips.
Yeah, I've had Zips. No, I haven't had Zips.
Zips is over in
Mount
Mount Lookout. Yeah,
Mount Lookout. Yeah. We tried to get in there once.
Their burger's really good.
You gotta try out Sammy's over in Blue Ash.
I know it's chain, but Red Robin has a phenomenal burger.
I had a Red Robin burger on Friday night.
See, you know,
you gotta get the Royal Robin.
Red Robin, yeah, with the egg.
Yeah. That makes a burger right there. That egg.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now you gotta check out Sammy's over there in Blue Ash.
Those would probably be my top two choices for chain and non-chain.
All right,
if I had to guess,
I'll take that.
Have you listened at all to the Ron Burgundy podcast?
We talked about this already.
I don't know. We talked about talking about it, but we never actually did.
Oh, we never actually talked about it?
Stole it.
It is horrible.
It's terrible, right?
It is not good.
I don't enjoy.
I
listened
to the first episode where they were talking about murder mysteries.
I'm still subscribed for reasons unbeknownst to me.
I never hit the subscribe button,
and I don't know why. I was excited that there wasn't a new release this week. But I was excited, but I don't know why.
Jim Day has a new podcast out.
I saw. I don't care.
Also, I start getting followed by the Texas Forever podcast the other day.
All right.
Yeah, Texas Forever Street. Oh no! I closed my notes. Uno momento, por favor. It's right here. While you listen to a little Lincoln. So, which Fast and the Furious was the best?
That's a good question. I feel like the first one was really good.
Yeah.
Like, really, really good.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be my number one always. As far as that whole world goes. But I feel like my number two would probably be the first one that The Rock and Jason Statham and everybody came into.
There's a new one coming out where it's just The Rock and Jason Statham.
And I'm actually really excited about that.
They're not even calling it Fast and Furious maybe, but...
No, they're calling it Hobbs and Biggs or something like that. Hobbs and...
I would say Tokyo Drift was the worst.
Yes. Hands down.
Hands down the
worst.
But
it's because of the way it came out insequentially. It didn't make...
Completely insequential.
It didn't make... sense when they released that movie, and then it ended up coming in after like 6 is where you're supposed to watch 3. Like, you're not Star Wars. Don't do this to me. And it didn't even work for Star Wars. People are still confused what order they're supposed to watch those movies in.
I think I'm going number 1. I was going to do a toss-up between 1 and 2. Because whenever 2's on, I start watching it. But there's more lines and more scenes I can remember from number 1. Like,
because you've watched
tuna on rye, no crust. Why do you keep coming here? I like the tuna. Nobody likes the tuna.
I smell skank.
What's the popcorn? But yeah, no, I'm going with number 1.
I had you, man.
You never had me. You never had your car.
I live my life 1/4 mile at a time.
Nothing less.
All right.
See, we could do that all day. We could do that all day. He has 7 VTEC engines with 3 bottles of NOS in that garage.
What was the line about import parts from Japan? It was Jesse saying that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
And then he dies.
He does.
That's
Spoiler
sad.
alert.
That's sad. If you haven't seen it yet, it's not a spoiler. If you haven't seen that movie yet.
Spoiler alert from 1998.
I don't feel bad for spoil. 1998, brother. We went and saw that in high school.
I was in high school in 1998.
Okay, well, I was in high school with you, so it had to have been 99, 2000. I didn't know you.
You weren't a freshman.
I knew Paul and Tony, so it had to have been... I'll think of it.
Did you check out that mock draft tool by thedraftnetwork.com yet?
No, I didn't.
All right, so if you haven't checked this out yet, it's really cool. I literally wasted like 45 minutes of my life on it the other night. It's basically you just hop on there. You can do as many rounds as you want. You can do as many teams as you want. And it's...
2001.
It gives you what the team needs are, and I'm sure it'll update as free agency progresses.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a lot of fun for me. I ended up with Ed Oliver once or twice. I ended up with some linebackers a couple different times between the two, the one from LSU, the one from Michigan.
I go quarterback.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I go quarterback for that. On that for
it's
sure.
weird because Ginger's running your family.
Ooh, snap.
Selling out on
I got a ginger beard.
You do.
It's true, I do. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, so now that we finally found out who's going to be, I mean, we all knew who's going to be on the cover of it. Are you still going to buy the show?
Yeah, I was going to buy it all along. I mean, we kind of hoping I was just kind of hoping he'd be in a gray hoodie.
Oh well,
that would have been ideal.
I'm actually getting excited. I might buy the show.
It's a fun game. I busted it out just the other day because it's not coming out until March 26th. But yeah, I busted out the old copy and was just playing through my show. That you can continue from year to year, which is kind of cool. Like you don't have to start a new road to the show every year. You can do that obviously, but you can still continue your guy just in the same time frame that he's in right now. So if you make it through like 3 seasons, you can just continue that on with all the new updates and all the new graphics and all the new features and everything on the new game, which is kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
I just wish that Madden was able to take some of these things from MLB The Show.
I'm so glad I didn't buy Madden this year.
It's my least favorite Madden maybe of all time.
My thing with the MLB games, though, is I get bored with them.
I mean, that's because there's 162 games.
No, I mean, I get bored with the video games. But yeah, right there. But I usually shorten my season if you can.
Well, if you're doing the road to the show, you can't really do that.
Oh, that sucks.
What you do, though, is you only play your at-bats and you only play, like...
It speeds it up a little bit. You can usually get, like, 10 games in a night.
You still have to build your guy up and all that, so whatever.
Yeah.
Did you read the letter at Jake Hessling 12 received from UC's Office of the Bursar?
Oh, dude, I was actually just scrolling through here to find that link and saw it. So here, yeah, I do.
I'm gonna read it.
Go for it,
because it was. I laughed.
I hope this is real.
I laughed so hard.
I hope this is real, and if it's real, Mamadou Diarra sent it out.
Dear Jacob, you're receiving this email because, as of this date, we can't take it anymore. We've made numerous attempts to explain to you that Kohl's Cash is not a valid payment method. We're not sure how you got a hold of $11,000 worth of Kohl's Cash to begin with, or why you've sent that much when your tuition balance is only $4,500. This needs to end. We are tremendously worried.
I hope this is real.
If it is, the kid's my hero.
If this is real, it was sent by O Varsity or Mamadou Diarra.
It's this kid, Jake Hessling. I read this letter. Somebody had retweeted it. I started following the kid. He started following us. It was kind of fun. I hope he hears this, but hilarious. I laughed literally so hard when I read that.
I can't believe it's real.
I can't believe there's a market for counterfeiting Kohl's Cash.
I can't. Yeah, well, that's a good point too.
What if it worked? By the way,
and by the way, if you've never gone shopping at Kohl's with my wife, then I guess that's why you don't understand why he somehow got $11,000 worth of Kohl's Cash.
$11,000.
Yeah, and that thing got retweeted 2.3 thousand times
because it was funny. When I retweeted it, it was only in the couple hundreds. We got in before everybody else did.
Just go through and read the comments right now.
I'm sure they're funny. Why don't you read your last question, though?
I already read you my last question.
That was all 5?
Yeah.
I started. How'd I finish?
I don't know.
I don't think you asked 5.
I did ask 5. Yeah. Didn't I? Oh, I didn't. Besides GABP, what other ballparks do you want to go see a game in?
Well, my wife is going to Fenway opening day.
You've already been there for a game.
I have, but not to opening day.
Oh, that's fair.
That's sweet. I'm obviously a little jealous on that.
Yeah, that's... I'm not a huge fan.
I think I'd like to go to Cleveland, to Jacob Field.
Really? I thought it's...
Did they change the name? Is it Progressive now or something?
I think it's Progressive Field.
Well, it used to be Jacob Field.
Yeah, it used to be, for sure.
But that's just right up the highway, and I've never been. I think that would be a cool game to go to. I'd actually like to go to Pittsburgh's field, because I hear it's actually the best in all of baseball.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Huh. It's Pittsburgh, so it's still a shit city. But you have the whole cityscape in the background in outfield that it literally just opens up in the background is the whole skyline there.
We get a view of Newport.
Yeah.
Okay. We kind of got a view of the stadium, but
so
kept it over here.
I mean, those are easy ones that you can make a weekend out of from here. But
that's true.
I've never been to the only 3 parks I've ever been to are the White Sox, Comiskey, I think it is, and White Sox is Comiskey, I'm saying, and then Fenway and here.
I've never been to any other field.
I've been to the stadium in Chicago. I've been to Wrigley.
I haven't been there,
but I've never been inside.
Well, I've been to Synergy Field. I've been to
Paul Brown Stadium, Nippert.
Yeah, I've been there for a game. No, I've never been. I think I want to go to Chicago.
I want to go to Wrigley.
Yeah. Huh. I guess be thinking, like, where would I go?
I'd even go to...
Isn't it the Florida Marlins who have a pool?
No, that is...
Is it the Tampa Bay?
Jaguars. The Jaguars have a pool for sure. Arizona might? The Diamondbacks, maybe?
Maybe it is. I feel like
it might be Tampa Bay, now that you mention it. I know they had like stingrays, actually, in the...
I think the guys from Tanked built one for him.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind making some stadium trips, but don't know that I'd do it just to go to another team's games.
No, I just want the Reds.
If the Dodgers are playing the Giants, I don't necessarily want to go to...
No, that's... I mean, unless it was like the Dodgers were... I mean, I don't know. Unless they were playing somebody like... Who's Frazier playing for now?
The Todd father?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure.
Yankees still?
No.
No? Anyway, Mets. He's playing for the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably go if Todd Father was playing one of those teams.
Couldn't care less.
Really?
Nope.
I'm a big Todd Father fan.
Sorry.
Oh, well, there's that.
Bum of the week!
Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that? Bum. A bum.
You are a bum!
You're a bum! And that's all you'll ever be! A bum!
Well, that hurts, man.
My bum of the week.
Go for it.
Antonio Brown? No.
Oh.
No. Nope. Maybe his mustache.
You just do like the Drake, no?
Or his hair.
Okay.
Robert Kraft? No, not that one either. That's too easy.
There's actually people calling for
Gillette to remove their name because they're all about like be the best man you can be.
Ooh.
In the Army. And that's Gillette.
Not where that came from, but okay.
You know who my bum is?
No, I don't.
LeBron James.
LeBron James?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron James?
So this dude, he doesn't play defense anymore. I understand.
Oh my goodness.
I understand that he's injured.
Oh, speaking of.
I understand that he's injured, and I understand it's on TV right now. But Kyle Kuzma literally had to push him at.
It wasn't Kuzma. It was
Everything I read said it was Kuzma.
I saw the video.
Everything I heard said it was Kuzma, including other podcasts. Anyway, he literally had to push him into playing defense. He has sold out on all of his teammates. He's called people out for not playing basketball. Keep in mind, all this time he's helping 2 Chainz release an album. He's working on getting Space Jam together. He's doing his show, The Shop, on HBO and getting in Antonio Brown and Anthony Davis as guests this week. He also claimed that playoff mode was activated. And he's only won like 2 of the last 7 or 8 games.
There's no playoff mode activated for that man.
Normally there is, but this year there's not. Like, you can't be a team of 1 that's playoff activated. Get out of here.
I mean, look at this game right now. They're in the first half, and we have Mo Wagner in. They've given up.
Yeah. No, Snoop Dogg is selling his club seats for $5.
How do we get those?
Got to be in L.A.
Oh, we can get out there.
He doesn't sell to us.
Did you see him roll the ball down the court the other day?
I don't watch LeBron James.
Well, if you check out Instagram.
Literally, this is the most LeBron James live basketball that has been on in my presence all season.
If you get on Twitter at all, he literally, you know how they'll roll the ball down to at least the mid court, so the clock doesn't start. He let the ball roll all the way down
to the 3-point
line. Then picked it up, shot it, missed it, walked away.
Somebody should have taken it.
Oh, they should have. Somebody off the bench should have just picked it up and thrown it. But there's that, I guess.
So yeah, that's my bum of the week.
My bum of the week, there's actually a bunch of bums for my bum of the week. And that is going to be Xavier fans. And not all Xavier fans, but the Xavier fans who keep coming on. Like, they're super quiet when they're on the losing streak. Then all of a sudden they go on like a 6-game winning streak or something like that. And now they're all vocal. Let's run the table. Let's run the table.
Yeah, that didn't age well.
That did not age well. They made who made the T-shirts for them?
It didn't end up happening, did it?
No, somebody made T-shirts for them. Dana Gardens?
I don't know.
Dana Gardens, I think, was like, hey, Xavier fans, how about these T-shirts? And then they lost. Xavier, if you could learn one thing from us, it's don't tweet about T-shirts until the game is over.
You could also learn that from Penny Hardaway.
Well, that's true, too. And then, I generally don't hate Xavier fans. Like,
they've been real bad lately.
And then they come into UC, buy a ticket, with their parents' money?
No, they got the tickets.
I don't care.
They have a friend who plays for UCF.
I don't care. I don't care. Taco Fall did not give them those tickets.
I don't think
they come in and they want to be all. They can't even be men about it. Like, they gotta wait. They gotta take a picture with Mick, and they have to wait until their friend goes, "Okay, 1, 2, 3," and then they want to throw the X out.
You're real mad about this.
Just be a man about it. Like, if I was first of all, you never catch me on Norwood's campus again because Punch House moved out of there. And if I ever go to that gym again, I don't have to worry about going there again. But, you might catch me there because the Globetrotters go there.
Catch me outside. How about
that? That girl's going to be president one day, by the way. But if I ever see their coach, out and about in Cincinnati somewhere, if I'm wearing a UC sweater, I'm gonna proudly wear my UC sweater. Yeah, I'm gonna proudly wear my UC sweater and say, "Mr. Steele, my brother's a huge fan of Xavier. Do you mind if I get a picture taken with you?" I'm not gonna be like, "Hey man, can I get a picture taken with you?" And then as soon as he takes it, UC. No, I'm not gonna do that. Be proud of your team. Be a man.
So the guy that I was sitting next to at the game at Memphis,
yeah,
said that the whole game against Xavier, he was yelling at Travis Steele and kept calling him Chris Mack the entire game.
I'm not going to get mad
until Travis Steele got mad, fed up with it, turned around and told him that he could F off. And at that point he said, "Sir, you are a coach of a Christian school." And that really didn't settle well.
That's something else. One of their coaches from Memphis turned around and was like, said F this S, I think. And remember we were all like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
I was like, there are 18-year-old kids on this bench. You need to knock that off, sir. Just look at him sitting there.
He's mad. They're all mad. They don't playoff mode engaged.
JaVale
McGee.
Yeah, that's the one who pushed him.
They all said it was Kuzma. Anyway. All right. So,
but real quick, I'm not gonna hate on Travis Steele because I respect the opinion of Alex Meacham, and Alex Meacham says he's a good man and a good coach. So I will until I see otherwise. That's why I'm saying don't disrespect our coach. I'm not gonna disrespect yours.
Big Meach. Larry Hoover. All right. It's everyone's favorite time.
It is now time for everyone's favorite segment. What is in Ed's fridge?
I'm so happy we're not live tonight. All right. So we have
a rant, and I forgot to.
It's so funny.
I almost drank it already.
We have Rheingeist's Calfe tonight. It is a coffee milk stout. I've actually had it before, but I'm going to try it again here tonight.
I've had it too. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
6% alcohol, 25 IBU. Ed couldn't wait any longer. It's a chocolate coffee beer. If you're
don't disrespect my coach.
I'm so mad.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's my quarterback, dog. All right. This entire episode is off the wheels.
What time is it? It is 11 o'clock at night, and I just got a notification from Bryce's daycare that he just went down for a nap. I can't handle these.
All right. For Ed, for Aaron, for Bryce's daycare, for our special guest tonight, Clay Snowden. Good Lord. I hope we're better next week.
We're better every week.
Good night.
Where the hell's the stop button?